So a little bit more about the course as we get going. We've got 3K loops, as we mentioned before, and we're going to have, like I said, plenty of coverage. They're going to start at the far west end of the Appalachia Regional Park, and they're going to come down through a long, narrow chute, passing the finish line to the left, and then head back out. They're going to make a hard turn and hit the first K as they head into what is known as Field 4, and then meander along a shell trail that goes alongside a swampy area, but it sits up and raised up rather nicely. But as they get ready to close that first loop over about that last 1,000 meters of that first loop, they're going to encounter what is commonly known to all who have run here as the wall. Over roughly a span of about 70 meters, the athletes will make a 40-second climb, and you're taking a look, approaching that climb right now is on the back side of the course. They're going to make a 40-meter climb in about 70 meters, a 40-foot climb in 70 meters, and that's equivalent to about a 4-story apartment complex. And you'll see that at the top of the loop where it says loop break on the map you're looking at right now, and that is the top of the wall. Then they're going to go behind the start-finish line and then come back down past the large group of spectators. We got a Jumbotron out here that has all the camera angles available. It will also have the running score timing provided today by pttiming.com. If you want to jump on there and follow along, we've got split mats at a little past 1 and 2K, and then every kilometer after that, 3, 4, 5, and, of course, at the finish chute, which you'll see, which is over my left shoulder, which you probably cannot see, but the golf cart is that's right behind me now is parked right where the finish chute is. And the runners are, once they peak the top of the wall for the second time, they've got about 700 meters or so to the finish line. And we are underway here at Appalachia Regional Park. "32 teams, 34 schools battling out for 2 automatic qualifying spots and 4 individual qualifying positions, along with positioning for those who are not in the top 2 for at-large team consideration, one of the 13 at-large spots. South region exceptionally strong this year, and as you see, the runners head toward the peak of the hill, and they will come underneath what were once a pair of giant live oaks. We've lost a little bit to storm damage and old age, and the lead cart bringing them through, and you'll see them coming through downhill. It's basically a net downhill for the first mile and a half, 2K, so it'll be pretty quick. Most of the racing will really take place on the second loop. The first loop is all about positioning, and it's getting out in front of the pack. You're talking about well over 200 runners in this field, and early on we've got a few Florida Gators and a handful of Alabama Crimson Tide, and maybe we could be a little tighter on that shot there of the lead group pulling in. But we know that Doris Lemnole will be up there in the front pack. She has I just lost my bib numbers. I will have to pull them back up. But Lemnole, Toué, Feline Charuto, Mening, Ashley Jones from Tennessee up there. A large pack. So this is a great time to look at some of the other runners that you're going to see up near the front. From Auburn, a freshman, she was 5th at the SEC Championships. That's Brenda Jepchichir. Laurel Wynn from Ole Miss, who was number 2, who was all-region here a year ago. She was 7th at the SEC Championships. Ole Miss, a very strong 6th seed here, or 6th ranked team in the South region. They've got a great pack behind Laurel Wynn, led by Madison Halsey, Beth Arentz, Sarah Schiffman, and Emily Mizuta. So keep an eye on Ole Miss making a little noise in this pack. A couple of other runners from Mississippi State who were outstanding at the SEC Championships. Ramat Jameau from Mississippi State. She was 23rd at the SEC Championships. Gabrielle Boulay from Mississippi State was 24th at the SEC. Vandy's top runner, Julia Rosenberg. Vandy once won a regional title, their first in school history actually here in 2014. The second year of the meet was contested here. Another runner for Auburn who was 30th at the SEC Championships is Jean Coetzee. Then some teams that you may not hear a lot about, but certainly some quality individuals. Odelia Jepchumba, a freshman from Middle Tennessee State University. Always a strong squad with a great up-front group. She was a Conference USA champion in a blazing time of 20:05, and she's definitely someone who will be in the mix for one of those at-large spots here as we see the runners making a turn, and they're getting ready to loop down and get back to the shell. Well, they're circling back and coming up on the 1 mile mark, and we will have that here. The collegiate 1 mile mark, we'll have that coming up very shortly. I'm looking at some results now. We've got some very interesting results. We've got Katie Earwood from Georgia Tech was up front early at 1,170 meters. That's your first split, Matt. Brenda Jepchichir from Auburn. Caroline Wells, we mentioned, from the University of Florida, the high school course record holder here at Appalachia Regional Park for 5K. Mackenzie Barnett for Lipscomb. Hilda Olamoime is running 5th. And then a 4-pack of Alabama Crimson Tide runners. Doris Lemnele, Brenda Tue, Feline Cheruto, Addison Dorenkamp, and then rounding out the top 10, Bika Sheperin from Florida State University. The Seminoles off to a pretty strong start very early on, just about 15% into this race. But you'll see the scores showing up right now on the board, kind of a running team score. Early leaders were Lipscomb, followed by Florida, Alabama, Georgia Tech, and Florida State. Well, way too early on in the meet to draw a lot from, but pay special note as you're watching these results populate that those groups of same team runners packed together, and as they head down to what's known as the Shell Bridge past what is the high school mile, and moving toward coming up on about the 2K split. So we'll start populating the 2K live results at 2,170 meters. In just 15-20 seconds, you'll start seeing things shake up a little bit, and I expect we will see quite a bit of change from where we were at 1,170 meters as those begin to populate at 2,170 meters. Again, we're here at Appalachia Regional Park. Division I South Region Women's Championship, 6K Women's Championship is underway. Taking a look at some other very highly touted runners from some other schools. Tennessee Tech's freshman Riley Wells was the runner-up at the Ohio Valley Conference Championship. Constance Pitlet from Florida Atlantic, another freshman, was 8th at the American Championships. You'll see Maria Kaler up near the front. She was 4th at the Sun Belt Championship from Southern Miss. Leslie Green from Chattanooga, 4th at the SoCon. And Grace Litzinger from Belmont. She was a 4th-place finisher in the Missouri Valley Championship. Valerie Lastra, who still holds a top 10 high school time from her days from down in South Florida, she's running for FIU now. She was 5th at the Conference USA Championship. And then you've got Kelly Pierce from Florida Gulf Coast, 10th in the ASUN. Sandra Mayo from Middle Tennessee was 7th at Conference USA. Emma Ferguson from Kennesaw State, 10th at Conference USA. And Adeline Hish and Sinknish Parker, who's a familiar name, another former high school standout from Florida. They lead the Samford team. They were 6th and 7th at the SoCon meet. So not surprising, we've got Hilda Ole Momoy from Florida now in front. Interesting little side note, Ole Momoy was at Alabama a year ago, and the Crimson Tide are ranked 7th in the country, and would be a heavy favorite if Olamoime was still there. However, she's leading the University of Florida charge, and you're seeing runners come up the wall right now for the first time as they get ready to pass behind the start-finish line. And that's that 70-meter stretch where they climb 40 feet, or basically 4 stories in about 70 meters. And it will be a pivotal point in this race on the back half as they head to the second loop. So looking at where everything is at the moment, you've got Momoy in first, Lemnole in second. Katie Earwood from Georgia Tech, holding her position up near the top. And then the University of Miami's Daphne Lavassis, an all-ACC performer, all-regional performer a year ago. She is up there in the top, followed by Elizabeth Barlow and Bika Shepard, Sinknish Parker, as we mentioned her from Samford, running the top 10. Jean Coetzee, we've got Brenda Jepchichir. So as things are kind of shaking up a little bit, very tight pack at the front as they head toward, they're going to be coming up on the 2K mark here momentarily. Well, they've passed the 2K mark, and as they work that outside loop and then hook back up, as they come through, you'll see the cart coming down the hill past the finish line. And we've got quite a pack at the front. A couple of Crimson Tide runners. Make that 3. You've got an Auburn runner. A strong showing there by Florida State, 3 up near the top. That's Tennessee's, I believe that's Tennessee's Ashley Jones up there in the front as well. Yes, it is, running in the 8th spot, as we are now looking at the 3,000 meter as they've just gone past the 3,000 meter mat, which is right immediately to my right. And we're going to see a big change now in the team scoring. I'm showing that Bika Shipperin is in the front, but there's a huge pack up front. Bika Shipperin from Florida State, Brenda Jepchichir from Auburn, Agnes McTighe from Florida State, Hilda Ola Momoy running 4th, and then Alabama's Brenda Toué and Doris Lemnole, Laurel Wynn from Ole Miss, Ashley Jones, and Feline Cherudo from Ashley Jones from Tennessee, Feline Cherudo from Alabama, and Colby Borland running up front, the number 1 position for Lipscomb in 10th place. So, again, we're looking at a kind of a switch at 3K. Your leader with 74 points is Alabama. Florida State second with 77. Florida third with 98. Lipscomb in fourth place with 115. And Tennessee with 127. Great start for Georgia Tech. They've dropped one spot since the previous mat, but they're running sixth with 135 points, still in striking distance of Tennessee. And then Ole Miss is a little further back. But everything changes now on loop number 2 because this is time to get racing. And as you'll see the leaders out through the back coming through what's field 3. We actually call that field 4. It's a long loop that's relatively flat. It's got a couple of little elevated spots in it, and that kind of throw the stride off a little bit. But then they're headed to the Shell Trail, and that's when things will smooth out. Beautiful morning here in Tallahassee, 58 degrees. A little bit of a breeze, not a factor in terms of the competition, but the runners certainly will enjoy the temperatures here, especially the men who will be making 4 trips around this course for 10,000 meters starting at 9:30. So we're through 4,000 meters, and Alabama has strengthened its lead. They've got all 5 runners across the mat in the top 30 scoring positions. They've got 51 points. Florida State running second with 89. Florida is third with 96. Tennessee has got 126. Lipscomb has moved back up to the 5 spot at 129. Closing, Tennessee made the big move from the previous split mat. And we are rolling along as the leaders are headed toward the Shell Bridge. And you're going to see, should be able to see the lead group here. We've got Doris Lemnole, Hilda Olamomoy, Brenda Toué, Bika Shipperin, Feline Cheruto, Agnes McTighe, Brenda Jepchichir, Colby Borland, Laurel Wynn, Ashley Jones. Those are your top 10. 3 of those, Crimson Tide. 2, Florida State Seminoles. Hilda Olamomoy is running second. She's the lone Gator in the top 10, although Florida has got a nice pack at running in the 13th, 20th, 21st, and 40th positions at this time, and that's why they're sitting in third place with a healthy 30-point lead over the second-ranked South Region second-ranked Tennessee Volunteers, who were the SEC runner-ups. It will be interesting to see whether Florida can improve on their finish. They lost that positioning over Tennessee at the SEC Championships. They're better positioned right now. Tennessee's number 5 runner in front of Florida's number 5 runner, but really strong running up front for the Gators at this time, in addition to Olamomoy, Tia Wilson running 13th, Allison Wilson from Florida at 20th, Bethany Morley 21st, Caroline Wells running in 40th position for the number 5 spot, and then Lena Winborn is in the 5th spot for the Gators, who are making their bid. And now we've got a kilometer to go, and it's go time. And they are about ready to tackle the wall for the final time. And this is where it gets to crunch time. Hilda Olamomoy from Florida has a scant lead over Doris Lemnole, just less than, well, actually 1/10 of a second separate them at 5,000 meters. Brenda Toué back about 4 seconds back from Alabama, running third, followed by Agnes McTighe and Bika Shipperin from Florida State in 4th and 5th. and now Florida is making a move, and they have moved into second place as Florida State's fifth runner has not yet crossed the 5,000 meter mat. They have dropped back to third place. So it's Alabama at 5,000 meters with 5 runners across for each team. It's Alabama with 50, Florida with 86, Florida State with 96, Tennessee with 125, Lipscomb 136, Ole Miss 145, Georgia Tech, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Samford round out your top 10 with a K to go. And we have got a lot of shuffling going on, and our leaders have crested the hill, and they are headed for the home stretch. And it's Olamomoy and Lemnole from Florida and Lemnole from Alabama leading the way. And they are running stride for stride. They've got about a quarter of a mile to the finish line, and we're sitting right now, I was looking for a live time on things. They're sitting at 18:44, and it's Olamomoy and Lemnole. Olamomoy from Florida and Lemnole undefeated this season. Hilda Olamomoy leading the way. Now here comes a push from Lemnole, and they're closing down the finish. Less than 100 meters to go, and it's going to be Olamomoy by a hair. Your champion, Doris. No, well, we're going to see. They've got them tied to the 10th. We're going to have to see how that's separated. And here comes the race to the finish, and we'll decide things. Brenda Toué coming in from Alabama. She's going to finish third. Agnes McTighe, fourth. Bika Schipperin from Florida State, her teammate, right behind her in fifth place. Laurel Wynn from Ole Miss. That's Cherudo. Ashley Jones, rather. Colby Borland with a strong finish to place ninth. Chattanooga's Leslie Green comes on to finish 10th. Those are going to be right in the hunt for at-large spots for those two, along with Brenda Chepchachir from Auburn, your 11th place finisher. Kate Tia Wilson from Florida with a strong finish. She finishes 12th. Alabama's got their 5 runners across the line. They will be your champions. 64 points unofficially at this point, of course. 64 points for the Crimson Tide. Florida will finish second with 79 points. Florida State finally got their 5th runner across. They will finish third with 106 points. At 123 is Tennessee will finish 4th. Lipscomb at 134 is 5th. Ole Miss, 150, they're 6th. Georgia Tech in the house with their 5th runner will finish 7th with 179. So again, unofficially at this point, Alabama and Florida, your auto qualifiers. Florida State strengthens its at-large bid resume with a strong third-place finish with 106 points. Alabama 63, Florida 79, and we finally have a change, and this one had to come down to probably the hundredths of the second. Your individual champion from the University of Florida, Hilda Olamomoy, is your winner. 1930.6, Alabama's Doris Lemdele. Also 1930.6, Brenda Touay, Agnes McTighe, and Bika Shipperin from Florida State. Their fourth and fifth. Laurel Wynn from Ole Miss is sixth. Feline Cheruto from Alabama is seventh. Ashley Jones from Tennessee finishes eighth. Colby Borland from Lipscomb and Leslie Green from Chattanooga round out your top 10, followed by Brenda Jeptichir, the freshman from Auburn in 11th. Tia Wilson from Florida, who had an outstanding finish. Allison Wilson right behind her. Tia Wilson 12th. Allison Wilson 15th. Bethan Morley 16th for the Gators. Elizabeth Barlow with her season best performance. She's running 17th for Florida State. Sandra Mayo from Middle Tennessee. Addison Dorenkamp gives Alabama 5 runners in the top 19. Brooke Mullins gives Florida State 3 in the top 20. And no surprise, those two teams, Alabama, Florida State, stuffed the top 20. They had 12 runners between those two schools in the top 20 positions. Alabama scoring into 2, 3, 7, 19, and 32 positions for 63 points. Florida finishes 1, 12, 15, 16, and 35 for 79 points and a runner-up finish in an automatic berth to Madison, Wisconsin on November 23rd. Florida State 4th, 5th, 17th, 20th, and 60th to finish third. Tennessee, your fourth place finisher, with 123 points, 8, 22, 26, 30, and 37. Just not enough low sticks for the second-ranked Volunteers to finish right behind the champion Alabama Crimson Tide as they did at the SEC Championships. And this time it is Florida, who was third at the SEC's, grabbing the second automatic qualifying spot. And just a moment, we're going to try to find Hilda Olemomoy from the University of Florida, your individual champion, who will be joining us hopefully for a little, she's wearing bib number 178, is Hilda from the University of Florida. And we've got assistance from the Florida State University Sports Information staff trying to sort her out of this pack. I'm sure she's with Coach Dan Walters now and her teammates celebrating a victory. Got a nice little crowd out here this morning for the festivities. Again, your winners and automatic qualifiers to the NCAA Championships in Madison, Wisconsin. The University of Alabama with 63 points. Runner-up Florida with 79. A strong third-place finish by the Florida State University host with 106 points. Should pretty much secure an at-large berth had they not even – they likely had done so coming in, and a third-place finish here is going to bode well for an at-large berth for the host Seminoles. So we're looking for Hilda, and hopefully we will have her here momentarily.